Can you start by telling us why anyone would need an education, health and care plan?
Well, to start with, we need to make sure that everyone is working together and that everything has been done to help the child or young person to learn and progress in their school. It could be extra help in the classroom, sessions in smaller groups, or being able to use a laptop instead of having to handwrite. This is called the graduated approach, and if all this has been tried and the child or young person is still struggling, then asking for an EHCP, an Education, Health and Care Plan, may be the next step.
So, who can ask for a education, health and care plan?
Parent carers, anyone working with a child or young person, or the young person themselves can ask for an EHC needs assessment. This is the beginning of the whole process.
What happens next?
When anyone asks for an education, health and care needs assessment, the SEND case officer might ask for more information. The SEND team then pull all this information together and write a detailed summary. The summary then goes to a group of people on the SEND multi-agency panel. These people then decide whether or not to take the next steps to find out if the child or young person might need support through an EHCP.
So, if it is decided to find out more about the child through an assessment, what happens next?
If the SEND multi-agency panel decides that the request meets the legal test for an assessment, the case officer will need to find out more about the needs of the child or young person. They will talk to them and the rest of the family. They will try to have a getting to know you meeting when everyone will get together so that the case officer can learn what life is like for the child or young person. The case officer will get information from the school and anyone else working with a child or young person. This could be a GP, a therapy team, a specialist nurse, an early help worker, and lots of others. The case officer will ask them about the child or young person's strengths, their needs, and what more help they might need. The case officer pulls all this information into a detailed summary which goes back to the SEND multi-agency panel. Their job this time is to decide whether the legal test is met for the child or young person to have an education, health and care plan.
When will this final decision be made?
This must be done within 16 weeks from when the original request for assessment was made, when an email will be sent to the family. If a plan is agreed, the case officer writes a draft plan that is sent to parents, the young person and anyone working with them. The family and young person need to check if they're happy with what's in the plan. They can add their thoughts or suggestions to the draft plan and say if there's a particular school or college they would like to go to. The case officer will ask potential schools if they think it could be the right place for this particular child or young person. This would usually include the local mainstream school or college, or the child's current school, and the family's preferred setting if this is different. They will ask if they can give the support described in the EHC plan and if they'll be able to help the child or young person achieve the changes that everyone wants to see. This is called consultation.
What happens if a family or young person doesn't agree with some of the things in the plan?
If a family or young person disagrees with what's in the plan, they can contact SENDIAS for advice. SENDIAS give independent advice and can help with thinking through the content of the plan.
So, when does the help in the plan actually start?
As soon as the EHC plan is finalised, the school or college will start to give the agreed help. Some things can be put in place straight away and some things take a bit longer.
So to sum up, an education, health and care plan might be needed if a child or young person needs more support than their school can give them under the graduated response. The school or the family can ask Rutland County Council to find out more about the child, and then a decision can be made if more information is needed to understand the child's need, and then whether a plan should be put in place. This should all take just 20 weeks.